I never told him about that part.
No, you're very wise.
Let's talk about the movie itself. We don't see a lot of successful, horror western hybrid. It's a bit difficult, but it's sort of perfect, right? Whether it's supernatural or not, this clearly is a serial killer film, but you get the sense that sort of everyone's dangerous in that time. Everything's dirty, everything's grungy. You might die at any moment. Jeez.
A million ways to die in this life.
Tell me about making a western horror and doing it right.
Wow, doing it right. Pulling the right team together. I did a movie last year, at the end of last year, where I doubled Danny Trejo on a movie that's coming out called Dead Again in Tombstone. So it's a sequel to his Dead in Tombstone. Danny's a great guy, and the Western was great. The team on it was great, and I had already started writing Crimson Creek Massacre. And so I started talking to a lot of that crew and stuff and said, hey, I got this movie coming up. And so I stole the wardrobe girls from that show, because they were doing a phenomenal job, and I loved the way that they were dressing everybody, and so I brought them over to BC to do this. And the makeup team that I had, Willie and I had hired them before in a zombie flick, commercial that we had done, so I knew they were kick-ass, and I had meetings with them, and I knew they were going to give us the right look. Everybody says grungy, dirty, and that back at that time, it's just, you didn't bathe for a month just because you couldn't, right? And great.
Just back then.
The odd person today is still like that. And our
That's why it looks so authentic.
Willie was really
Change a
getting.
thing.
Willie wanted to go. He just said, "Lash, I want to go live out there. Let me set up camp. I want to go spend a month out
method
there."
on us.
Yeah, let's go.
I tried really hard to let me actually live in the town for at least 2 weeks before we went out.
Yeah. Security-wise, they wouldn't let him though. So, but and I gotta give props to our special effects makeup team as well with some of the stuff you're going to see in the movie. John Healy and his team just knock it out of the park every time we hire him. He does great work. And the actors, I mean, I was saying to the guys, when you're a stunt coordinator, you hire the right stunt guys for the job.
Yeah.
You don't want to be teaching people how to do stunts on the set. So people come, you map it out for them, you direct them on what they're supposed to do, and you let them perform. And that's exactly, when you're a director, that's how you want to cast your movie. You want to put people in the roles that are just going to bring something extra. What I wrote on the page, that's just a benchmark. These guys bring it to life, make something happen, right? And I tell them all, I said, that dialogue I wrote, that's just to get the point across, okay? You guys can mold it, change it, breathe it, it's your character, right? I'm giving it over to you, so,
And that's extremely rare, especially today.
It's a bit precious.
Well, yeah, everybody's not only are they precious, because usually when a filmmaker finally gets their film made, they really don't want you screwing with it, even though your idea, in fact, they like it less if your idea is better than theirs. And it's just that I understand it, because it's so difficult to get your vision made anyway. But they have a director that will allow you to come in and say, hey, do you mind if we do this? Probably the best example was that bar scene where Ken and I are toasting. That was never written, but when we got there and we were starting to run the scene, Ken said, this is not right. You need to ask me. And I was like, oh yeah, you're right. So that whole here's to luck and the clinking the glasses and all of that, none of that was in the script. That was brought by Ken. But it made the scene so much better.